Seriously? This is what we have to deal with today? This? Right here in front of us? This is what we're dealing with? Not even COVID at this point? We're dealing with this? Alright. TJ, let's just do it. Let's just go right into this thing.
What is there to do, Matt?
I don't know. You lost me. Kyrie lost me. Harden lost me. My Spurs, are they even making moves anymore? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the NBA.
God.
I mean,
you're funny.
I don't know what's going on. So let's just do this. Let's just go over the injuries that this is going to affect tonight. Obviously, Brooklyn's at the very top. We have Brooklyn out, inactive, and it doesn't even have it on RotoGrinder or RotoWire right now. We have Claxton, Dinwiddie, Irving. Now James Harden's in the player pool. Apparently he's out, TJ, in case you're wondering. He's not playing tonight. Okay.
James Harden will not be making his debut for Brooklyn tonight.
And then we don't have Tyler Johnson. We also are without Jarrett Allen.
Yep.
Who was in the trade? Levert's not here anymore.
Karis LeVert.
Is there anybody else we're missing? Brooks, yeah.
Brooks.
Okay.
Yeah, there was one other person, but mostly irrelevant. You mostly covered the important pieces in this insane trade.
Yeah. So we have a trade that's going to affect. We actually had a lot of Discord questions about this. So anybody involved in the trade, they're obviously not going to play for the team. They're not going to risk injury. That would be dumb for them to do that. I don't even think they're allowed to do that. Regardless, they are not playing tonight. So we have active 9 official players for the Nets, I do believe. So
yes,
prepare for more stacking.
And I'm going to read the trade real quick.
Go ahead.
All right, so the Rockets, so after the dust settles, okay, so the James Harden phenomenon, the Rockets acquired Oladipo, Dante Exum, Karooks, 3 Brooklyn first-round picks, and 4 Brooklyn first-round swaps. The Nets acquired James Harden. The Pacers acquired Karis LeVert in a second-round pick. And the Cavs acquired Jarrett Allen and Teron Prince. Teron Prince was the other guy that we left out of that equation, Matt. So that is the totality of this 14 trade that is centered around the one and only Hefty Harden.
Yeah. So here's the thing, TJ.
The big boy.
It obviously affected tonight in terms of DFS, but it did not affect them as aggressively as I thought they did. Yes, obviously there's a ton of value to go over, but it's not like the Heat situation last night where there's 8 available players. We still have KD to look at. Huge price tag on him. We still have a lot of these bench players to talk about. Joe Harris priced at $5,500. Let me just ask you this. I know you probably didn't get a chance to compute the numbers. So actually, do you want, let me make it easy for you, TJ.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
I'm going to start out right now. Kevin Durant, guys, obviously. He's averaging 1.61 fantasy points without Kyrie Irving on the court. There's not that much of a sample size when we take LeVert off the court. So we're just going to assume about 1.61, between 1.6, 1.7 points. Right now, I have him projected, TJ, at 59.15 points, a 6.3 point per dollar value against the Knicks. That is a pace down spot. Still a fantastic play. He's one of the highest owned on the slate. A huge benefactor. The next guy up is going to be DeAndre Jordan, not Aiden. DeAndre Jordan, because Jarrett Allen is no longer on the team. Therefore, he is the main guy. He should start tonight. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't. 29 projected minutes right now, 34.3% ownership. He's averaging 1.13 fantasy points dating back to last season without all these guys on the court. So I do like him. He's actually the highest point per dollar value on the entire slate, TJ, at $3,400. A very, very good play coming from a bottom of the barrel price tag from DeAndre Jordan. He's the only guy that can run the center minutes here for this team, really. So I think they're going to rely on him heavily. It's going to be him and Kevin Durant getting all the rebounds. Bruce Brown's next on the list. Not a huge fan. He's projected at 26 minutes. I can see how it can be a plug and play. $3,300 right now. So yet another value play here. And then also TLC, TJ, averaging 0.88 fantasy points per minute at $3,500. Those are going to be the main guys that we're looking at. Again, this did hurt the big men more so than the guard play. So keep that in mind when looking up and down this roster. Chioza is projected at 18 minutes. Jeff Green is projected at 26, and Shamet is projected at 26 minutes. Those guys are also in play. But when we're talking about the chalk and the actual ownership, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Jordan, and Bruce Brown are going to be very chalky tonight, TJ. So just going to throw that out there. I think Kevin Durant and DeAndre Jordan are your automatic locks from this team. We have some other value to talk about. We're going to get to those guys in just a second. But right now, we're starting out with the Brooklyn Nets, obviously, with all this injury news. What are your thoughts after looking at the numbers a little bit further there?
Good news. So, yeah, what I did is I took off Kyrie, Dinwiddie, LeVert, Teron Prince, Jarrett Allen, and Karooks over the last 2 years. And I was looking for some sort of sample sizes that we could find. Obviously, we're not going to have KD in that mix because he didn't play last year. A guy like Bruce Brown is only 6 minutes on this sample size. Matt, a guy like Jeff Green, only 2.5 minutes on the sample size. But for DeAndre Jordan, like you alluded to, I have him at a 1.15 fantasy point per minute. No, I'm sorry. That is for, I was looking at Joe Harris. So Joe Harris, this is who I want to talk about. Okay. He gets a 10.6% usage bump. And this is in 73 minutes, so it's a little bit of a smaller sample size. He's a 1.15 fantasy point per minute in a 30% usage rate. And again, remember, this is with KD technically off the floor as well, so you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Okay.
TLC, like you mentioned, 0.88 fantasy point per minute, so I don't hate him. DeAndre Jordan, an absolute lock. Obviously, starting at the center, it's going to be him and Reggie Perry, the only eligible centers that they have.
Lock and load.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe if DJ gets into foul trouble and they don't really want to go to Perry, they could probably run. They could run KD at the 5. I think. Obviously not a bulky boy, but he's got the size. Yeah. I don't think it's it's their first choice, but I think it's a possibility. So yeah, Matt. In totality, we have a 9-man rotation. KD was a lock for me this morning with Kyrie being off the floor, and now with LeVert, Jarrett Allen, everybody else, he's 100% a lock, regardless of game script and regardless of the over/under. So at 9,400, you can lock him in. DJ as well at 3,400, getting those starting center minutes. He's going to be a lock. But I think you can go to Joe Harris, Jeff Green at 3,600 playing 33 minutes. Bruce Brown at 3,300 playing 28 minutes. Like all these guys are going to be super chalky. The 100% locks for me are going to be KD and DJ. And then from there, I'm going to try and figure out where I want to go because there is value elsewhere, but I wouldn't be surprised if I have. Yeah, I think 4 Brooklyn Nets are probably going to be the viable option in cash.
You know, from a guy that usually stacks aggressively, by the way, guys, Miami Heat, did I not? I mean, come on. I told you guys before we got off the stream, stack 5 of them. You were fine. Yep. You guys probably all cash, right? Hopefully you didn't ignore me. We did great in Patreon. Tonight, TJ, I probably won't aggressively stack this team as much as I did the Miami Heat, but I am still going to be aggressive with these guys. I'm probably guessing between 3 to 4, like you just mentioned. I'll probably be leaning more on the 3 side just because of the pace of this game, and there's value elsewhere that I really like, and I want to get to the Pelicans. Sorry, and I really do like the guard play elsewhere. I think there's fantastic plays. I don't necessarily like the guard play here. I do think DeAndre Jordan is a 100% lock, and same thing with KD. So starting out with the chalk there. Do you want to say anything else before we move on to the Pelicans?
Yeah, no, I got nothing. Brooklyn's gonna give me a headache.
Okay, yeah. So, and again, the minutes.
Another low over under though, Matt.
Another one. You're right. You are correct.
There's minutes around in Brooklyn. Yeah, I mean, this is the same type of situation that we're talking about.
Right.
And more of a rotation as well, more available players.
Here's another thing to mention, TJ. Technically, Eric Bledsoe is still questionable. If Eric Bledsoe gets rolled, that is enormous because Eric Bledsoe plays 37 minutes. He's projected 37 minutes right now. With Eric Bledsoe playing right now, people like JJ Redick are projected at exactly 30 minutes. Josh Hart's projected at 36. Steven Adams projected 36, kind of irrelevant. Alexander Walker, TJ, is projected at 28 minutes, and this is with Eric Bledsoe playing. Can you imagine if he gets ruled out? I mean, all the minutes go to a guy that's playing 28 or goes to a guy at $3,100 projected at 28 minutes right now. Brandon Ingram's gonna have all the usage. He should be a near lock for you guys if he's not already. But so much opens up in terms, and I think this is it's funny because it's a lower over under. I think this is another late night hammer you guys can be focusing on. I really like the guard play here. Zion Williamson, one of the highest usage guys off the court. Brandon Ingram gets a boost in usage, and he also averages 1.24 fantasy points dating back to last season, TJ. So this season, he's been playing even better. So that might be a little conservative. Right now, he's projected at 50.84, and again, that's conservative. It's 6 point per dollar value. I really like Brandon Ingram. I really like the guard play, and I love the value here in terms of overall minutes. JJ Redick at $3,300, projected at 30 minutes. You can't tell me that he's not hitting that price tag. It's going to be very hard for him not to. So what are your thoughts here on the overall Pelican picture?
So the minutes that I have on Roto are a little bit different than the minutes that you have on Fantasy Country. I think the minutes that I have are a little more conservative. Okay. I have Ingram at 37. I have Josh Hart at 34.
Ingram
I have
41
Redick
for
at
me.
20. Okay, yeah, that's insane. I have Redick at 27, NWA at 22, Melly at 24, Adams 33, and then you mentioned Eric Bledsoe at 35. So I ran numbers for Lonzo Ball and Zion off the floor. Now, I had to kind of get creative here because if you take off both Zion and Lonzo Ball, you don't really have too high of a sample size for guys like Steven Adams and for Bledsoe. Yeah. Well. So when just taking Lonzo Ball off the floor, Eric Bledsoe he gets a 5.1% usage bump, and he's a 1.12 fantasy point per minute, Matt. 23% usage rate. I have him as a 7.1 on our sheet and projected at 41 DraftKings points. So I absolutely love Bledsoe with Lonzo Ball off the floor. Now that you take off Zion, I think that only, increases his usage and his output. Same thing with Steven Adams, but I'm really focusing on Ingram, Bledsoe, and WA. Yeah. So when you take off Lonzo and Zion this year, Brandon Ingram gets a 3.4% usage bump. He's a 1.38 fantasy point per minute and a 32% usage rate. Matt, I have him
pretty good. Yeah,
I have him pegged for 52.8 DraftKings points tonight. Josh Hart gets a 1% usage bump. He's a 0.99 fantasy point per minute. So at 5,400, I have him pegged for 34 DraftKings points. Yep, and that's with the conservative minutes at 34. Redick, you have him at 30. I have him at 27. He is a 1.11 fantasy point per minute. So I have him pegged at 30.1 DraftKings points at $3,300, which is great. NWA, another guy that benefits greatly, 1.2% usage bump. He's a 1 on the dot fantasy point per minute. So I have him currently pegged at 22.2 DraftKings points. And then I think Nicolo Melli too at 3K is viable. I have him pegged at 24 minutes. He's a 0.88 fantasy point per minute.
So that's where the discrepancy is, because right now I have Melli at 17 minutes. So
got it. So the Melli minutes that I think he will be getting are dispersed a little more throughout some of these guys. Right. Got it.
Yeah. So again, if Bledsoe is ruled out, I think you can agree with me here. These guys take priority, at least the guards do, over the Brooklyn Nets.
I don't know. I don't know. I think you can have a pool of both, honestly. I think it's all going to be on who you're paying up for in roster construction,
Okay.
like we've been talking about a lot lately,
We
because
have
there's
been.
so much value. We saw it last night with Miami Heat. We saw it 2 nights ago with the 76ers. So I think it's kind of who you're making really a priority and kind of just filling the spots with the value that you know
Right.
is available to you. So if you're making Ingram and KD a priority, you might not be able to get Bledsoe, Josh Hart, and then if you want to get up and get a guy like Luka or something in that type of
Right.
lineup, you might have to go to some cheaper plays. But I think there's value. There's a ton of value here, obviously, with the Pelicans and Brooklyn aside. So I
Yeah.
think you can go either way. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I personally might hold off. The only reason, TJ, is because Kevin Durant does have a higher usage rate than Brandon Ingram. They both are fantastic. Don't get it wrong. But I just think that Durant he's so much more of an upside player than Brandon Ingram. And again, we're comparing two superstars at this point, so take that with a grain of salt. I just
Apples to apples, right?
right. I think that there's just a lot more usage to be dispersed throughout this team, this Pelicans team. It's a lot better of a more balanced team, I guess you could say. They do have a tougher matchup against the Clippers.
40,
What's up?
48.5% of the usage between Zion and
Right.
and Lonzo Ball will be off the floor tonight.
Right. So much more usage to go
That's
around.
what those two is.
Yeah, but again, we're taking off LeVert. So again, I just
and Kyrie.
Yeah. Well, we've not had him, and we're looking at numbers with him off the court. We're used to doing that anyway. So Pelicans and Brooklyn. I personally favor the Pelicans, especially if Eric Bledsoe is ruled out. Absolute smash spot for me. Should be a relatively close game for both of them. We have an 8-point spread on the Clippers right now. Should not blow out. Should not. I have to say that every single stream for some of these teams. Let's go ahead and bounce around to some of these other chalk plays. We have Al Horford ruled out for OKC. So,
Yes.
Ownership-wise, Roby, 28.9% owned. He just plays. He's power forward and center eligible, so I do expect he will be slid up into that power forward position for a lot of you guys. And you should be able to get two other centers into your lineup. $3,100 projected at 27 minutes. Do we need to talk any more about that chalk? I feel like it's very straightforward, very obvious. I didn't even look at his fantasy points per minute just because he is playing 27 the last time that he did get a ton of minutes. Smashed. So go ahead.
Yeah, so with Isaiah Roby, Matt, this was the whole debacle that we saw earlier in the year when Al Horford got ruled out. Everybody thought that Muscala was going to get the start, and it was actually Isaiah Roby who shot 9 of 12 in 28 minutes and had 19 raw points. Absolutely smashed his price tag in DK. So sitting at 3,100 projected at 28 minutes, Matt, with Al Horford off the floor, he's a 0.96 fantasy point per minute, an 8.67 on our sheet. I currently have him pegged at 26.9 DraftKings points at 3,100. So yeah, a lock for me in cash. Another guy that kind of sticks out with Horford being off is going to be Lou Dort. He gets an 8.4% usage bump with Al Horford off the floor. Again, it is kind of a smaller sample size. It was only 60 minutes, so take it with a grain of salt. That the Roby numbers are a much greater sample size.
Right.
But again, an 8.4% usage bump. He's a 1.03 fantasy point per minute and a 7.8 on our sheet, Matt. So I kind of like Dort. More of a tournament play for me, obviously. I think you take Isaiah Roby and go here. And you go with the value between the Pelicans and the Brooklyn Nets.
And again, another pace down spot for both of these teams. So all the values, all the values are very, all the values are in these pace down spots, which do scare me, but they are from good teams that do benefit tremendously. So in the same sentence, they don't really scare me, but they do. Could easily get blown out all three of these games. They could be blowout potential games. One more team I want to talk about, and then we can go ahead and talk about the entire slate as a whole. Well, two more games, really. But I want to talk about one more team that benefits heavily from injury news, TJ, and that is the Dallas Mavericks. Right now, we're without Richardson, Finney-Smith, Kleber, Powell, Brunson, and Porzingis is technically, I think he's probable. Projected at 24 minutes for me. Really have no idea how many minutes he's actually going to play physically. So... Let's just back it up here. What is your take on this team? Are you prioritizing any one of these guys over, let's say, the Nets or Pelicans in terms of value, or even Roby?
The only guy that I would consider is James Johnson. But even with that being said, with Porzingis back in the mix, I'm going to say no. I think the only place I'd probably want to go is to spend up at Luka. I think you have the ability to do that with all of the value that we have on the slate. So yeah, I'm not going to waste too much time. I think the one guy I was looking at was James Johnson, but with Brooklyn and the Pelicans having so much value now, honestly, I'm probably going to be off of them.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is probably the highest scoring team that we've talked about in terms of value. But again, all the usage should go to Doncic and also Porzingis if he does play right now. He's projected at 24 minutes, and he is projected to start tonight. So probable. Yeah, let's not waste any more time.
Starting, yeah.
One more game I want to talk about, and only because of the over-under, TJ. Portland Trailblazers, Sacramento. Talk about a late night hammer.
Right.
These guys will win you some tournaments. Yep. I'm telling you right now. Neither one of these teams play defense. This should be one of the highest over/unders we see all season, rivaling that of Atlanta and Brooklyn earlier in the season. I forget what week it was. But Portland, Sacramento, where are you going in this game? Right now, I have Damian Lillard as our thumbnail. He's a very safe option, a good pay-up option, but strictly because very high scoring game, projected at 36 minutes, and it's against the defensive-less Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, I like CJ at 8,600. I do like Dame as well as 9,500. But the key thing for me in this game is definitely going to be if Nurkic is in or not. I think if he sits, I think Enes Kanter becomes viable at 4,800. We've seen what Kanter's done in limited minutes. If he can play, 26 to 28 minutes in a pinch when Nurkic is out, like he can easily pay off that $4,800 price tag. So I really like him as a tournament play, Matt. I'm honestly leaning toward tournament plays on all these guys. Why are they all showing 0% owned? Oh, okay, it's glitching. De'Aaron Fox is super cheap for Sacramento at 7,400. Again, hasn't really been playing too well. With Halliburton in the mix now, taking a little of his usage away that we were so used to seeing with De'Aaron Fox last year. Played fantastic against Indiana, had that closing dunk where he just blew by Sabonis and just slammed it home, which was very impressive. So yeah, I think there's some value here. I think there's some decent spend up spots. Again, this is one of the higher over-unders that we have on the slate tonight, sitting at a 136 currently. So if you are going to spend up, yeah, I wouldn't hate going to Dame, wouldn't hate going to De'Aaron Fox, wouldn't hate going to McCollum, but I think we really need to keep an eye on Nurkic. Yeah. I think that opens up some value and some really good late pivot options, in tournaments.
Yeah, these guys, at least a couple players, should have some really big ceiling games within this game. Harrison Barnes, another great tournament option that we always talk about, TJ, $6,700. Finally getting to that price tag that's going to make it really awkward to get to, 7.3% owned. De'Aaron Fox, 14.8% owned, $7,400. Got that price drop. I do like him as well. And then also Lillard and McCollum, like you were just talking about. McCollum's actually projected higher owned. For whatever reason, he's been doing very, very well. But however, it is still Damian Lillard, so we know what to expect from him. Very high over under there. Yeah. You guys can start off your player pools by getting rid of Detroit, the Knicks, Memphis, Lakers. No, I'm only joking, but seriously, it's a very straightforward slate, and there's some very obvious plays for very small GPPs and double ups. Guys, if you go anywhere else but the teams that we just talked about, you're doing it wrong in small tournaments and also in double ups.
And I just want to make it clear that when it comes to the Pelicans, if Eric Bledsoe's in, I'm most likely only taking Bledsoe and Brandon Ingram and then potentially NWA.
No JJ
Eric
Redick.
Bledsoe is out, then I think
that's tough, man.
Yeah, probably not. I think it'd be a toss-up if Bledsoe is in. If Bledsoe is in, I think that kind of throws off some Redick and Hart value that I would really be on. But if Bledsoe is out, then yes, I think like Redick, NWA, Nicola Melli, Josh Hart, they're all very cash viable, including Ingram.
Yeah, and right now Eric Bledsoe is still questionable, so we don't know anything. So we probably won't know. And it's right eye irritation. Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Is he blind? I don't know.
He's not. Is he blind? He's got pink eye.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about cash locks right now, and then we can transition into GPPs and questions? If you had to make a cash lock, cash court. By the way, let me just pause the stream real quick. I have no idea what our likes are at right now, TJ. I'm assuming they're low. They're not at 150. If they get to 150, if we get over 380 viewers, we will be giving away $25 on stream, and I will also be giving away my used 2013 Honda Civic for completely free for you guys.
Dude, saying that, someone's gonna really want that Honda Civic. No, this just needs to get 150 likes. I give away the $20. You over 380 live viewers, you give away 25. That's the way we've been doing it.
Yep.
We were close last night on views. I mean, on likes, we just missed it. I think it was 148 when we got off. So 100 more.
All right, let's do it. 380 viewers will break our all-time record. So hopefully we can get to that, guys. What's up?
So Matt, if I were to be giving out a cash core currently,
Yes.
and I'm under the impression that Eric Bledsoe is in, is that what we're going to assume?
That's
that
what
Eric
we're going
Bledsoe
to
is
assume.
playing?
Yep.
Okay. So if Eric Bledsoe's playing, my cash locks are going to be KD, DeAndre Jordan, Eric Bledsoe, Brandon Ingram, Isaiah Roby, excuse me.
And
Those would
you
be my
said
5
Brandon
cash
Ingram.
locks.
Wait, you said 5? I only got 4. You said Durant, Jordan, Ingram, Bledsoe, and who else?
Isaiah Roby.
That's who you said. Okay. Yeah, I like that core. I really do, because it gives you some flexibility too to pivot if you need to. Let's say Bledsoe is ruled out, you can pivot to some other options. Really do like that, TJ. Straight up, you can go to Josh Hart. That's a 1-for-1 trade there. All right, if I was giving a cash score, it's going to be Jordan, Roby. It has to start with those 2 value plays. It has to be Kevin Durant. I'm sorry to be boring, guys. I don't want to agree with you either. That sucks.
We're allowed to agree with each other. We're both very intelligent young gentlemen.
But yeah. Brandon Ingram,
Okay.
I'll do that, and then I'll give one more. I'll say JJ Redick. I really do like JJ Redick. I think the guard play needs to take priority, and this is just my opinion, over the Brooklyn Nets. I just think there's so much more upside with these Pelicans in terms of sheer shooting and points. So much usage has gone throughout all these throughout these Pelicans players. Really do like the upside here with these guys, especially somebody like JJ Redick. JJ Redick could easily drop 30 DraftKings points tonight, TJ. So even with Eric Bledsoe playing.
He's really good.
Yeah. I don't know if he's good, but he shoots a lot. Those are my cash locks. Those are my cash locks, guys. I will be updating on Patreon. By the way, I got some really late updates to Patreon. I will be doing them again at 6:25 when we get off, guys. Let's go ahead and talk some GPP plays. My favorite GPP option on the slate was Zion. A lot of really low price guys overall, TJ. One guy I want to talk about. This guy is $9,000, and I've never seen him this low. It's Anthony Davis. Probably one of my favorite GPP options on the slate. I honestly might play him in cash if I fall on him on one of my last pieces, just because $9,000 is a steal. Somebody that's not driven on the pace of the game. His production is always up because he's a high usage guy. He's always getting rebounds. He's not a volume shooter. So really like his price tag. Should easily hit value. A 5.8 point per dollar value on their sheet. Probably my favorite GPP option on the slate. And then also all the value guys from Brooklyn for GPPs we talked about at the beginning of the stream. They're showing very low ownership. Same thing for the Pelicans and anybody in the Portland Sacramento guys or Sacramento game I'm targeting for low ownership. They're just always so low owned. The last game on the slate always carries very, very low ownership. Those are my favorite GPP options. And also one last guy I want to talk about, Mr. Obvious, LaMelo Ball is still showing 16.7% ownership. And also Devontae Graham, $6,200. One of those 2 guys has a ceiling game every single time, it feels like. I really do like those guys for GPPs.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about LaMelo first. Just the run that he's been on has been super impressive. $7,200 still rates out really well on our sheet, Matt. I have him currently projected at 40.1 DraftKings points. So I really like LaMelo Ball. A guy like Karl Anthony Towns is interesting. He's the third most expensive guy on this slate, currently sitting at 9,800. We saw him go up against the Spurs and hit for 54 DraftKings points. It's a good matchup against Memphis. So I do like Cat showing some pretty low ownership in tournaments. I mean, we got to talk about Giannis, right? At 10-6 in a game that might potentially not blow out against Detroit. We saw one game blow out against Detroit and one game that was actually really competitive. In the game that was competitive, he played 36 minutes and went for 62 DraftKings points. So I think the upside is there potentially. If I'm looking at some cheaper plays, I do like Lou Dort, who I alluded to at 4K. I think he's in play with Al Horford off the floor. Trying to find some ones that
does Milwaukee play Detroit every game? Wait, what's going on there?
Yeah, this is their third time playing this year. Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of that. So yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at right now, Matt. I Muscala would be in play for me at 3,300 as a tournament play. If Isaiah Roby gets into some foul trouble, Muscala actually paid off his price tag and last time when Al Horford was out, when everybody thought he was going to start. And Roby got the start. So I wouldn't hate Muscala if Roby gets into some foul trouble or if he gets hot from 3. I think he can pay off that $3,300 price tag. So that's kind of where I'm looking at for some cheaper and some expensive tournament plays.
Yep. some superstars that are carrying no ownership whatsoever, TJ. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. Paul George has been playing out of his mind. $9,300 overpriced. So if you want to take a stab at him,
pivot off of KD.
He is. Yep. Just in case Brooklyn does get blown out, they're definitely not playing KD on the back-to-back 100%. They're going to send the entire fourth. So definitely some good GPP plays from both of us, TJ. Let's go ahead and go on to questions. I'm going to check the Discord chat.
Good. Check the Discord. I will check the top of the YouTubes.
310 viewers, guys. We need to get 70 more to get a $25 giveaway.
I got a comment that I want to start with before you go to the Discord questions.
What's up?
DV8 said, best pregame show in the business. Actually takes time to answer you and help. Thank you, DV8.
We really appreciate that.
We do
honestly.
You're our best.
It's tough. It's tough, but we do it every single day.
You got any questions over there?
Yes, just get into them. Sorry. There's a lot of them. There's 9 of them.
All right.
Cash, SGA or Russell or Fox? Fox. Yep. I like. Yeah. Okay. That's a comment to that. Thoughts on single entry Fanduel? Doncic, Chiozza, McCollum, Alexander Walker, Hart, Durant, Roby, Randall, Jordan. Don't mind that. Chiozza's the only question mark. Like I said, only projected at 18 minutes right now, but very effective. So overall, I do like it. TJ, what are your thoughts?
I like it. I have Chiozza at 20 minutes, and he is a 1 fantasy point per minute, so I think he can pay that off.
Thoughts on this for a GPP? This is DraftKings. Lonzo Ball, love the start. Alexander Walker, Harrison Barnes, love it even more. Durant, DeAndre Jordan, McCollum, Roby, Ingram. That's a very good lineup. Very good lineup. That's very contrarian, and I think there's some high upside guys in there. What do you think, TJ?
I just want to make sure you said Lonzo. I want to make sure that he's not starting Lonzo and he's starting
LaMelo. Sorry.
LaMelo.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. I was like, yeah, you're not going to want to start Lonzo tonight.
That's too contrarian. Yeah.
I probably would fade that lineup.
Fade. Yeah. How does this look for a 47-man GPP? So a very small GPP. And this is on FanDuel. Doncic, LaMelo Ball, Bruce Brown, Devontae Graham, Durant, Hart, Randall, Joe Johnson, DeAndre Jordan. Seems a little too contrarian for me. For those types of GPPs, you want to be very close to the chalk lineup. Very close. When you say small tournaments wise, how small, big of the field tournament are you looking at between? I consider anything less than 100 people, guys, a small GPPs. You can play very close to the cash line in those tournaments. I know that TJ actually plays them in those small tournaments and has been very successful with them. Does JJ Redick outrank Joe Harris for small GPPs? Those two aren't close in price tag, so I can't really compare those two. Joe Harris and JJ Redick are both in great spots. Does a 40-man double up count as a GPP? No, double ups and GPPs are not the same. Double ups are where you place in the top half, top 50%. You double up your money regardless of the amount of points you finish with. You double up your money regardless. Okay. For GPPs, the better you place, the more you earn. Austin Rivers may be a sneaky GPP. TJ, do you like that? Austin Rivers tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Bullock's out. Burks continues to be out. Frank's out. So, yeah, I don't hate it. Obi's back tonight, topping. It is a good matchup against Brooklyn. So, I wouldn't hate him. Yeah, I don't mind him as a tournament play. I think I'd rather go to Peyton as a tournament play.
Okay. I see in the chat, isn't Zion out? Why did Matt have him as a favorite GPP option? So that was in the video. That was updated earlier. And also on Patreon, I believe I removed him. If he's still in there, I don't know why he is.
Why are you picking guys that aren't playing?
I don't know. I thought I made that very clear that I know Zion's out, guys. I think that was I think our stream was structured around the fact that Zion was out. Thoughts on cash? Thanks. Doncic, Alexander Walker, Brandon Ingram, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Jordan, Fox, Roby, Carly Stein. I do like that. I think it's a pretty safe build. How much do you want to get chalk in big GPPs? Okay, so how many chalk players do you want to play in big GPPs? I differentiate myself in at least half my lineup. At least. So 4 players. TJ, you're now on the board.
Yeah. I am on the clock, guys. Let's see here. Matt, if you had to take one. Oh, wait, I need to go to the top now. Sorry, I was daydreaming. Better showdown captain, Durant or Randall? I say Durant.
Yes, I agree.
Been a long day. It has, Bowley. Certainly has. Let's see. What else do we have? Hefty Harden moves on. Yeah. Harden looked pretty big last night in warm-ups. He's a big boy. He's definitely packed on some pounds. Prince, yes, thank you guys. I was forgetting who was out there. Let's get to the questions. Eaton and Embiid killed it for me last night. You guys are awesome. Thank you, J3. Appreciate that, man. Ooh, Matt, somebody stacked the Pacers last night on Fanduel and got 4 times ROI. Love it. I hope you took that Aaron Holiday play. He was
FanDuel. It was definitely the Pacers.
I just woke up and saw Harden was traded to Brooklyn. Man, I can smell a title in Crooklyn. I don't know, man. I don't know how 3 Divas are going to make that work, but we'll see. Trying to find some questions, Matt. Here we go. Giannis or Luka tonight?
Luka for cash. Giannis for GPPs. Big GPPs.
Stupid to fade Durant for tournaments. I say no.
Depends on what the rest of your lineup is.
Yeah, I think it's stupid to fade him in cash.
Yes.
Let's see. Are y'all locking in Ingram in cash? I am. Yep.
Yes, I will most likely have him in there.
Yeah, with or without Bledsoe for me. Roby or James Johnson? Roby. Trey Burke. Too expensive for my blood right now. Especially with the value of Pelicans and
real quick, TJ, 59 away, guys. Please hit that like button. Get us to the top of the search results. I can feel the momentum going in our direction. I really can. I think once we hit 380, $25 giveaway on stream, guys. Let's go for 400.
Chips is peeing on his pad. Good boy, Chips.
Good vibes all the way around.
We heard you talking. Yep. Cantor. Yeah, I like Cantor, especially if Nurkic is out. Harden going to Brooklyn. Yes. Matt, we got a cash lineup here. We got NWA, Redick, Ingram, Nicola Melli, Roby, McCollum, Durant, and Luka.
Is this cash or GPP? I'm sorry, I missed that.
That is cash. Yep.
There was one guy in there I didn't like.
You probably don't like Nicola Melli.
Yeah, Melli projected minutes are a little low for me.
I don't hate it. But if Melli's minutes are only going to be 18, he's not going to be playing 24, then yeah, I don't really like Nicola Melli. He's 3K, so I don't hate him. Thoughts on Melo and Canada? Man, Melo balled last game. It's all dependent for me on Nurkic. I don't think Nurkic is going to play, so I'd rather have Canner, but Melo was very good, so I wouldn't hate Melo either. What'd you say, Matt?
336.
Gotcha. Yep. What about Hart? Yeah, we like Hart. I like Hart more if Bledsoe's out, personally.
100%, yes.
Giannis or Luka, we just touched on that. Adams or Mitchell Robinson? Adams
looks good tonight, and also on Prize Picks. He slammed the over on that.
Matt, Josh will have your Honda Civic, just so you know, if you want to hit him up. Darius Baisley is my fave GPP play. I like Baisley. Yeah, I like that as a tournament play. I'm more on Lou Dort and obviously Isaiah Roby, but if you're looking at tournaments, yeah, Baisley's going to come low owned, and I think he's in a decent spot without Al Horford. Nurkic or Jordan? If that's DeAndre Jordan, 100% DeAndre Jordan. Nurkic is still questionable, so I'd stay away from him, honestly. Julius Randle, tournament play. I wouldn't go there in cash. Matt, Josh Hart or Joe Harris with Bledsoe out? Hart, right?
Hart,
if Bledsoe is out, yes, I like Josh Hart.
But again, guys, we won't know that until closer to that game tip time. So if you want to get contrarian, I wouldn't fade the first game, but I would take limited amount of people from that Brooklyn game.
You know, Morph actually brings up a pretty good point. Julius Randle potentially benefiting from Brooklyn being short on bigs. Yeah, I mean, if DeAndre Jordan picks up 2 early fouls, which is something he could easily do, it goes to Reggie Perry. Julius Randle could take advantage of that. So that's why I do like him for tournaments, but I wouldn't go there for cash.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Ingram, Davis, McCollum, and Blake Griffin. Timothy, I don't know what that is, but those are 4 guys in the NBA. I just don't know where you're going at with that. Is that your core? I'm not sure. But yeah, those are NBA players. Dame or CJ? Sorry, that was rude.
CJ, that was so rude. Come on, man.
I know, I'm sorry. I tried to do it with a straight face. I was just being a brat. Dame or CJ? Matt, I like CJ.
I like Dame. I like them both.
Okay.
I like them both.
Small GPP, we got McCollum, Bledsoe, TLC, Durant, Roby, Ball, Davis, and Jordan. I like that. I just feel like you're missing some Nets value, but I do like that. I do.
Got 2 more questions in the Discord here. 490 person single entry tournament, so a decent sized one. We have Fox, Durant, Redick, Paul George. There's Paul George. DeAndre Jordan, Willie Cauley-Stein, Brandon Ingram, Alexander Walker. I think that's pretty good. So you have Durant and Paul George in there? Yeah, I don't hate it. I actually like that. For GPPs, DeAndre Jordan or Isaiah Roby. For GPPs, both of those guys are going to be very high owned. So those are definitely more chalky plays. But if you had to pick one or the other, TJ, I'm going to lean Jordan, I think.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I agree with you.
That's all I have.
Octavius, his birthday is today. Hoping to cash out big bucks.
Happy birthday, man.
Wishing the best for you. Top 3 value picks tonight, Matt. I think if we're talking in terms of value, it's going to be DeAndre Jordan. If you want to consider Eric Bledsoe in, Derrick Rose is out.
Okay.
If you want to consider Eric Bledsoe in, I think he's good value too at 5,800. I would say DeAndre Jordan and Isaiah Roby are the 2 value plays that you're really looking to get.
Jordan, Roby, and Alexander Walker for
Bruce Brown, Alexander Walker, like all those guys.
Yeah.
Hayward or Jeremy Grant? Oh man,
who?
I think Hayward or Jeremy Grant. Okay. I'm assuming for tournaments. Dude, Jeremy Grant has been so good for Detroit. It is unbelievable how good he's been. Gordon Hayward's been really good too. I'm going to say Jeremy Grant against the Bucks. I think they're going to need him to be aggressive and score, especially now with Derrick Rose being out. So I'm going to say Grant, but I do like Hayward. Honestly, those are 2 of my favorite tournament plays tonight. What else do we have here, Matt? Brooks, Beasley, or Hardaway? I don't really like any of them. I think if I had to go any, I would say no. Baisley wasn't.
I don't even know.
Beasley. I would say Hardaway.
Would you say Beasley?
Yep. Yes. Brooks, Beasley, or Hardaway? Malik Beasley.
Oh, Malik Beasley.
I would say Hardaway.
I was drawing the blank there. I apologize. Guys, 36 more. Momentum is swinging in our direction. Just for any new people in here, we're giving away $25 on stream if we hit 380, which is the all-time mark. If we break that record, we hit it 2 weekends ago, TJ, I believe, on a Saturday. So if we can do it during the week, crazy.
20 if we get the 150 likes. Only 33 likes off. Kogi will. Wow, Kogi's starting, and so is Kat. My phone's on 3%.
Kogi's starting.
Derrick Rose is out. Any value there? Yeah, we haven't crunched numbers yet. There will be some value there. I'm assuming, guys. Yeah, I don't think anything too crazy. I think like Josh Jackson will become pretty decent at 4,500, but these are all going to strictly be tournament plays.
Yeah,
I mean, Mikhailo, Frank Jackson. Like, I don't even know who they're going to start at guard now with DeLon Wright. Probably, actually, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what the starting lineup looks like. How do you feel about Jeff Green from Brooklyn? I like him. I wouldn't hate him as the last piece in cash.
Yeah, I don't mind him. He just burned so many people.
Juancho or Melo? I like Melo.
I like Melo's upside tonight.
Nikola Melli or TLC? We're going to butt heads on this one.
Minutes. I will say it.
Okay, he's projected at 25 minutes, and they have Melli projected at 24. So
we're looking at 2 different minute projections.
So I am going to say TLC. Let's see here. TK Cash, Baller, Fox. I think you go Fox. Oh man, that's so tough.
That is tough.
LaMelo Ball pops better on the sheet, but Fox I think is just a better spot overall.
But yeah, so listen, TJ.
I think I go LaMelo Ball.
236.5, and is this over under? The next closest one is that Detroit Milwaukee game, 226.5. Yeah, that's 10 points.
I mean,
just saying.
I know.
No defense is going to be played in that last game. It's just a matter of who's going to shoot.
No, that's what we expect, but it's going to be 101 to 98 because that's the way the world works.
No way.
Jordan or Steven Adams? I think there's a price discrepancy there. I'm going to assume that's FanDuel, but go DJ.
Real quick, I have a couple more questions, TJ.
Yep, hit it.
With no Rose or Hayes, what's your take on DeLon Wright at 5K? Only tournament, huge blowout potential, and he's not the most productive guy. Go ahead, you can check on that.
Yeah, I'm going to check on Detroit with both Derrick Rose and Killian Hayes off the floor. See what we're working with here. See if anything tickles my fancy.
Where is the pivot off of Bledsoe? If they yank him and cash, Josh Hart's a great cash play if he is ranked or if he is yanked straight up. Yep. For Giannis, for cash, Giannis, Ingram, or Doncic SGA, definitely. Ooh, I hate SGA.
Giannis, Ingram, or Doncic SGA. Yeah, I think I go Giannis.
I don't think I've ever played SGA. At least this season. I don't think I've touched him. Yeah, I'm gonna win Giannis Ingram probably when he had like 2 points.
When he's trash.
He's trash, yeah. And Big GPP, who's playing Doncic and Giannis and looking for value for Brooklyn, New Orleans. I'm not.
There's some questions where you just gotta talk it up and you just gotta move past it.
Yeah, I'm not too sure I understand the question, Joey. Go ahead, TJ. Take the
I
floor.
am
You're crunching
currently
numbers.
crunching some numbers. If you want to, yeah, just go to the tube and start at the bottom, and
I will do that. And also, we're losing momentum, guys. I'm disappointed in myself. I'm disappointed in our performance overall, TJ. This is not. It's not good. Not good at all. Bruce Brown ?
Hey, Wednesday night.
I like Bruce Brown. And Cash, I really don't like his upside. Bruce Brown's not a huge volume shooter. There's so many options tonight for higher scoring, higher volume shooters coming from the Pelicans. My personal opinion, I think he's a good play in Cash, but probably not GPPs.
I think TLC takes 20 shots tonight.
Yeah,
I'm going to say that right now. Would you be surprised if he comes out 25?
All he does is shoot the ball, and he's crazy. Yeah, I agree.
Careless.
Chiozo Melton. That's the first time I've seen that name tonight. TLC, Davis, I'm assuming Anthony Davis. Randall, Fox, Freak, Giannis. Jordan, GPP thoughts. I like that. I like Melton. He's so hit or miss. 5 Brooklyn, too much. This is coming from an aggressive player. Probably a little too much for my liking tonight. And Cash. Yeah, I guess that's fine in Cash. But again, I don't like being too aggressive on Brooklyn tonight. Any must-haves for Cash and Fanduel? Good question. Don't play Fanduel. Our must-haves are probably very similar over there. Our must-haves were DeAndre Jordan, Kevin Durant, Roby. You can throw Alexander Walker in there. Also Brandon Ingram.
Matt, nothing really pops for Detroit. That's without their minutes being adjusted. I mean, Grant probably could play 38 minutes. I don't think Blake's going to play anything over like 32. DeLon Wright, maybe 32. Josh Jackson, maybe 28. I think if anything, it's Grant's probably going to be my favorite play, unless like they start
From
Frank Jackson. Correct.
Okay. Making sure you weren't saying over the entire slate, because that's a very bold statement.
Oh no.
Well, I'm taking a drink.
Thoughts on Cantor? Yes, I like Cantor, especially if Nurkic is out, but I don't think I would be on him if Nurkic plays. He's been really good in limited minutes, though, for Portland. I got money left for either James Johnson or Jeff Green. Oh, man. I personally think that James Johnson is more effective when on the floor, but the Jeff Green minutes are going to be there. So I think I lean Jeff Green. I liked James Johnson, but now that Porzingis is playing and starting, I think that kind of puts me in I think I favorite Jeff Green a little bit more. And I think he could play like 8 more minutes than James Johnson. So I think I'm going to go with the minutes and say Jeff Green. Choose one, Matt. AD, Randall, Ingram, GPP.
I love AD and GPPs, but it's going to be Ingram. Overall upside. But again, for big GPPs, I'm taking a stab at AD tonight for sure.
Ingram.
Yeah, I agree. We're getting so close again. 39 away, guys.
You answered the 5 Brooklyn too much. Okay, for Cash, do I need to have Luka? I don't think you need him.
No.
I just think it's really easy to get up and pay for him. I think you can get him or Giannis. Honestly, I think that's a viable option.
If you want to be very contrarian tonight, go middle of the road builds, 100%.
Oh no, Matt, we skipped over Florian's lineup twice, so I'm gonna go up and find it.
Okay.
Here we go. GPP lineup. We got Fox, Russell, Trent, Randall, and then he has 4 nets. He's got Bruce Brown, Harris, KD, and Jeff Green. I like the Gary Trent play as a sneaky play. We saw a lot of Melo last game. Could be Gary Trent tonight, especially if Nurkic is out. I like the upside with Randall. So I like that tournament. I like that tournament lineup. Elo's the only guy I'm kind of on. What else do we have? Obi Toppin playing tonight. Yep. Thank you, Aaron. Fox, NAW, Ingram, KD, DJ Roby, Dame, Hart. I like that start, Jarrett. I think you're missing a guy, though. 2, 5, 6, 7. Oh, no, you're not. Sorry. I missed DJ. I think I call him DJ Roby. I don't know why I said that. Yeah, I like that lineup. It's going to be a pretty chalky lineup. Matt, GPP. He's got Fox, CJ, Luka, Brooks, Barnes, and Jordan.
It's only 6 players.
Yep, that's a good start. It's a good start, Tony. Matt, Plumlee at center for FanDuel. I think you need to go with DeAndre Jordan and Roby. I don't know if Roby has center power forward eligibility on FanDuel.
But I think he does.
Okay, so I think those are the 2 guys you want at the center position, Kenny.
There's a lot more better center options tonight.
Yeah, a lot more better. Randall or Ingram? Leaning Randall because of all the nets I have. If you're playing tournaments, I can see that. But if you're playing cash, I think you go Ingram. If AD plays LeBron or Dame in cash, I'm assuming Dame. Yes, I think Dame would be our play.
Oh, man.
You hate me, don't you?
39 away. I'm trying to not rush my pick. I have to get off soon. We'll give it 2 more minutes.
Okay. Joe Harris for GPPs, Matt. Can I get away with only playing Jordan on Brooklyn? That's a dangerous game, Justin. That's a dangerous game.
Depends on what contest you're talking about. Honestly. For tournaments, absolutely.
Yeah. Is Dort a cash play? I don't think so. I personally like him, but more of a tournament play. Fox is a solid cash play. Yes, Matt, we got a GPP lineup. We have Luka, NWA, Barnes, Covington, Bismack Biyombo, Devontae Graham, AD, and Brook Lopez.
Okay, that's all over the... All right. That might be too contrarian for me.
I think it is a little too contrarian.
I like all the plays, though, like individually.
Yeah, but... Right.
Yeah.
Let's see, Matt. Trey Burke, unnecessary now. Yep.
Matt,
I'm going to read one more lineup here, and it's going to be from Greed. It's Luka, NWA, or NAW, excuse me. Ingram. I was thinking NWA like that. Roby, DJ, Bledsoe, Durant, Joe Harris for cash. Yeah, I like that.
Yep. I like that too. All right.
I think I kept calling Alexander Walker. I think I kept calling him NWA. Okay. Move past it.
Yeah, we will move past it. Let's also just wrap up the stream, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I want TJ to think one more thing. I want to do this before we get off every single time. I'm going to make one big, bold prediction for the night. You're going to make one big, bold prediction. You ready? Just think of one off the top of your head. Mine is there's going to be 3 guys from the last game in the actual optimal tomorrow morning. 3 guys from the last game on a 7-game slate.
I wish we did this last night because mine would have been that Aaron Holiday absolutely went berserk, which he did. Yeah. Okay, so my one, what did you call it?
What, the segment? Your bold prediction.
Yeah, what are we calling the segment?
Sure.
My bold prediction. Okay. My bold prediction is that Kawhi Leonard is the highest scoring on the slate.
Okay. Don't hate that. Don't know why, but I mean, he sucks. Kawhi Leonard's one of the worst players in the NBA. But all right, let's move past
cash core if you have to give it before we leave.
Okay. Your cash core or my cash core?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. DeAndre Jordan, Kevin Durant, Roby. I will say Brandon Ingram as a 4th and Alexander Walker. That's 5. That's literally more than half a lineup.
Yeah, Roby's only carrying 18% ownership.
Roby's carrying a lot more. 30 for me. He's still a fantastic play. I don't want to let you skew that.
Mine are DJ, KD, Ingram, Roby, Bledsoe if he's in.
Okay.
And I think NWA is in play even if Bledsoe plays.
That's 6 players. You just build a lineup. Okay. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. With all that being said, have a great rest of your day. I will be updating Patreon, and let's cash.
Bye, guys.